What's up, guys? Welcome back to Dungeons and Dragonite. Here with me, your DM. Go ahead. Let's redo this. I'm assuming you want to redo this.
I want Tyler to do it.
I'm not going to, but that was a good
That
one.
was good. It was good. No, what's up, guys? Welcome back. No, that's in. We're not removing it. It's there. It's there. It's happened. It's happened. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Dungeons and Dragonites. Back for our 11th episode. Returning are our three trainers and friends.
Hey, I am Eric, and I play Silver Rowan, a rock-type specialization Pokemon trainer.
Hello, I am Mariana. I play Marina, and I am a Psychic-type Pokemon trainer.
And I'm Tyler. I play Leaf Nadim, soon-to-be future champion of the Kanto region, and I specialize in Fire-type Pokemon.
I'm Chandler. I am your professor, your dungeon master, whatever other fun acronyms I can throw in front of my name, as well as the person who just keeps throwing this Pokeball and is eventually going to hit myself in the face with it. But welcome back to session 11. Guys, in our last session, our trainers traveled to Celadon City, very, very far away, about a 20 to 30 minute jaunt from Saffron City, especially on bicycle. Once there, they did a little bit of everything, did some shopping in the amazing Celadon department store. They also played some games at the Celadon Game Center, won a few money, lost some money, before having a drink next door, where they did indeed meet their best friends, Jesse, James, and Meowth. They picked up a little side quest with them to go deal with Silphco, as well as meeting Professor Spinstar, who seems to be having a bit of an issue with some experimentation going on with the university. The three trainers decided to look into that by stopping by the Celadon University and hearing from a class taught by Erica herself. They met their great buddy Master Blake, who's trying to learn about a few things, and picked up another side quest about a golden carp. So that's what it is. That's what you guys have done. And you guys are still currently, you guys just finished up that class. Erica has left. She thanked you, told you guys to have a great day. And you guys are standing in an empty classroom. What would you like to do? Also, for note, it is about 5 p.m.
So, we could try to find that Magikarp she was talking about.
I do still have my trusty rod on me.
And we have a theory that Erica's family is involved in the testing of the Pokemon that the professor is looking into.
Possible theory if her family is involved in the trading and illegal experimentation, but we have no proof yet.
And then Team Rocket wants us to steal something.
That one is the lowest one on my list, because that's the
Yeah.
most dangerous one.
My priorities were Golden Magikarp, the gym, university experiments, and then possibly the Silphco heist.
So Golden Carp and No Experimento.
Great quest names.
No, Experimento.
We want to go check out down the road to see if we can see Golden Magikarp.
Yeah, might as well. We still got some sunlight.
So she mentioned to you that it had been seen, a couple of people in the town had mentioned that specifically they had seen it over near Route 16, which is directly west of Celadon City. So you guys head out that way. As you guys come up on to Route 16, you guys see a couple of things. So this is as you guys kind of exit the city, leave the little bit of it behind, this is a very short path that kind of runs about 100 feet straight. On the to your left or south is you see the beginnings of the ocean as it spreads out far beyond you. Back to the north, which would be to your right, you of course see some mountains, smaller mountains than Mount Moon, but these definitely look like they lead to Mount Moon. These are kind of the continuation of both the forest and the mountains that you guys built on the other side of Celadon City, but this is of course, a good 30 miles away from where your base is. And you guys see that. You guys also see a short little decline going down at the end of this route that looks to head down Route 17, as well as a small building over to the side. So basically, you guys see a straight line, and then coming this way, a down path, and then a building up on a higher path with a sign sitting in front of the building.
What's the sign say?
Do you go over to the sign?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You walk up to the sign. The sign is pointing down to the decline, which takes you... if you go down that pathway, it'll take you basically even with the water. And the sign points down saying that is Route 17. And the sign also points towards the building saying entrance to Cycling Road.
It's the cycle road.
And Route 17 is where they've been sighting the Magikarp, the golden Magikarp.
People said they saw it right off of Route 16 into the water that runs next to Route 17, is what Erica said in her lesson. And also, just for note, this water. Also, just for note, in the Kanto handheld games, Route 17 is the cycling road. But I thought that would be weird if your only way to travel from Route 16 to 18 was to go down a road called Cycling Road. So instead, think of Route 17 as up in the air, kind of up on like a bridge that goes across the water where their cycling is, and then there is a walkable route, which is Route 17, down the way. There is, of course, also Route 17, or the Cycling Road is lifted up off the ground very far. You guys can see, since this is pretty flat, all the way down to here. There is a bridge about halfway down this route that can open up and close, which of course allows for ships to reach in and get to Vermilion City, because it'd be kind of weird if Vermilion City was landlocked, considering it has a ship that comes to it. But yeah, that's where you guys are.
All right. We want to hop down and check out the waters before Route 17. See if we can see this thing.
Do we see any Pokemon on this route?
Make some perception checks.
Perception.
I got a 10.
22.
22, 18.
As you guys look out around there's no like tall grass where you are. There is some forest a little bit further in. If you were to trek into the forest and go off route, you might come across some Pokemon. From where you are, it seems like with as populated as this area is, no Pokemon are really coming out onto this path here. Are you guys just focusing on the route, or are you looking into the water?
I'll look in the water.
With Tyler and Eric's roll, both being high enough, Eric hitting the exact DC, Tyler being higher, you guys look out into the water, you see some Magikarp swimming through, you see a few like Poliwags and Tentacools, and you also see a glint of a golden scale kind of swim past, and you kind of focus your eyes on it, and you're like, that's a golden Magikarp. And you can see it's about 20 feet off of the shoreline, swimming with some other Magikarp, kind of heading southward a little bit down the route, but kind of just lazily swimming, not really going anywhere fast. It looks like they might have migrated here, found a food source. You're not really sure.
You see that? You guys see that?
See that?
What?
Down in the water. Look, it's a golden Magikarp with the rest of them.
What's that?
And once he points that out to you, you also see it as well. You just see the golden Magikarp. It's a little bit under the water. You're actually quite surprised you were able to find it so easily.
Cast your line, my dude.
All right. Well, is there any? Do Magikarps like any specific bait?
They like shiny things.
Like shiny thing.
Do you like any berries?
I wonder. Would I know if they like any berries or anything?
Make an intelligence check with your Pokédex. So add your proficiency bonus to it. Because you have the Pokédex, you already have a Magikarp. You've caught one. You have one entered into your Pokédex. So you would have some insight into one.
12.
What was that?
12.
12? Alright, let's see here. With that, you could assume, yeah, a berry might give you a better chance. You know that your Magikarp, you've fed it a couple berries, and it seemed to enjoy it. It might help.
All right. I'm gonna put one Chesto berry on the line. And then I'm going to go ahead and cast.
Cool. Go ahead and make an animal handling check. And we will add, I'll give you a +3 for the berry.
Dang, that brings me up to a +9. So it better be bigger than 10. 15.
So you throw out your line. It goes as it starts to go. You see your rod start to like crack a little bit and like kind of like, and you're like, oh yeah, this is a very old fishing rod. As the water hits that, and you're looking. The Magikarp kind of swim past. The golden one actually kind of centers in on it and is starting to go for it. When another carp just jumps up and you have caught. There's something on your line, but it looks like a normal Magikarp bit onto it before the golden carp could.
Now, are they underwater? We can see them?
Yeah, they're like, just a little bit under the water, about a foot or so under the water. But you,
So if
All right,
I throw
I'll
a
try
ball-
and reel
if I
it
threw
in
a
just so
ball-
I can free the line.
do what, Tyler?
If I threw a ball, it would like splash and not make it, right?
No, yeah, they're under the water. So your Pokeball would hit the water. It might go under a little bit, but then it would just pop back up. Pokeballs float.
We could use our water types to go down there and drag it to the top.
You could. So currently, Eric, you're kind of reeling in your line. You have one Magikarp that's kind of held onto it that's being pulled back. There is the golden carp that's down there. About 4 Magikarps with it as well. And then the Poliwags and Tentacles that are around, they aren't like as close in. But so you have 4 Carps and your golden carp that are still out there.
I'm gonna throw out Poliwhirl.
Alright, so Poliwhirl lands on the beach there next to you. Poliwhirl.
Poliwhirl, you see that golden Magikarp in there?
Poliwhirl.
Bring it to the surface.
Poliwhirl. And it,
I'm gonna toss out Ivy Boy, and and tell him,
Ivy Boy, Ivy Boy.
go to the shore, and help Poliwhirl when he gets to the shore with your vine whips to help corral him in.
Cool. What move are you wanting Poliwhirl to try and use to bring him in? Or are you just wanting him to try and like push him towards the shore? Or are you just wanting him to
Hypnosis.
grab in?
Let's use Hypnosis.
Hypnosis? Read off Hypnosis
Put
to me
it
real
asleep.
fast.
Hypnosis
it puts him-
puts him to sleep.
It's a wisdom save, right?
Yeah, 11.
Cool. So Poliwhirl dives into the water and starts swimming around, kind of coming behind, and comes up towards Magikarp. Let's see if they see him. They do not see him. They are distracted by. What are you doing with the fishing rod, Silver?
At this point, I just still have it out. I'm not doing anything with it.
Well, a Magikarp
because I
is
was-
still like pulling on it.
Oh, I'm going to release the Magikarp from the line, and then I'm just
So you fished it
I'll
in,
try and,
toss the carp off.
honestly at this point, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to try and cast it closer to the shore to try and get at least them to get a little bit closer, to lure them
Okay.
closer. Whether
So they don't see Poliwhirl coming up because they're watching the other carp like that's swimming off, and then like the other Magikarp like plops back into the water and starts like swimming over to them, and it sees Poliwhirl and it like starts to you see like some bubbles go up. It might be communicating, and then all of the carps turn to Poliwhirl right as he comes up and goes with Hypnosis. You said that was a Wisdom save, correct?
Yeah, DC 11.
DC 11. Cool. Let's see what happens here. That is a with his that is a 13. So he makes the save. So they are all up. You can go ahead and roll initiative for your boy.
Bum, 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 bum. Boys out too.
Poliwhirl and boy.
Bum, bum, bum,
Yeah, Poliwhirl's boy. And you can roll initiative for Poliwhirl.
But Poliwhirl
15.
boy.
No, for your boy, Ivy Boy, and for Poliwhirl.
You're a boy. You're a boy.
Good lord.
Roll for your boy. Roll for your boy.
Roll for your boy.
15.
Roll for your boy.
15. Cool. So they rolled a 16. So I'm just going to use that for all of them. So they are going to attempt to splash. So the four of them do go for a splash. And they're just splash, splash, splash. Nothing really happens. You see some of them flip up outside of the water. And the golden carp rolled lower. So Tyler, Eric, whoever wants to go first, you both have the same initiative and same dex.
Poliwhirl's just gonna rush in and try to grapple the Magikarp.
Okay, make him make a strength check.
$14.
14. Let's see here. 14 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Well, it's just a grapple.
Oh, it's just grapple. Yeah. All right, so that catches him. So he has the golden carp held, kind of in between his arms there, and the other four just splashing around. Eric, go ahead and go next.
Okay. So how far away
It's about
is
about 10 feet off the shore from where you guys are standing right now. Ivy Boy's kind of standing right at the shoreline, so about 10 feet away from them in the water. You can see that Poliwhirl has just grabbed the golden carp there, and the other four carp are kind of swimming around and are like splashing into him there.
Perfect. Ivy Boy, try and grab Poliwhirl and the golden carp with your vine whips.
Ooh, okay.
Fish us out.
Roll an attack roll just to see if you're able to hit them. You aren't going to do damage, but just to see if you can hit them in the water and pull them out.
Poliwhirl's AC is 15.
Yeah, we were going to do DC 15 anyway. I was just going to give it a DC 15 since they're under the water and there's some other carps around.
11.
Son of a gun.
So your Ivy Boy sends out his vine whip and it goes flying. It hits under the water, and as it comes up, the Magikarp just flailing about just knocks it around, and he just pulls it back, and he looks up at you, Ivy Boy, and like looks back towards the water.
Boy. You didn't yell, "Get him, boy."
He did. Yeah, that might have been what didn't help him.
Right.
Next up is going to be the golden carp. He's going to attempt to break free. That is a natural 20.
Do I have to make a contest against that? I don't remember how. Or is it just my strength of 14?
I mean, if you want to contest it, you can. You only hold him if you roll a nat 20.
Might as well. What if I did though?
It would have been impressive, but that's a 12. So he breaks free, and then he is going to turn around and he is going to go for a Dragon Rage onto Poliwhirl. Oh, no, wait. Shut up. Dragon Rage. Oh, you unleash a devastating flow of energy in a 100-foot line. 5 feet. Each creature caught in the blast must make a dex save. So go ahead and make a dex save.
That's what Charmeleon just learned.
As soon as I was rolling, I was like, oh, wait, DC. I was like, this is an attack.
13.
You make the save. So Poliwhirl kind of just like pushes out of the way as it comes flying, and it comes flying right towards the shore. So you guys seeing on shore just see this massive energy go flying through the water, hit the shoreline, and send water spraying everywhere. Top of the order, it's going to be the Karps, who are going to splash. They go splash around. A couple of them actually come flying up out of the water and land back into the water and go back towards Poliwhirl, just trying to like run into him. They aren't damaging him, but they're just running into him. Tyler?
Hypnosis again.
Go for it. Let's see what happens.
DC 11.
DC 11. That is an 11. You win. So he is asleep.
Okay, it falls asleep.
So Golden Carp falls asleep. I rolled a 12, and Magikarp has a -1 wisdom. So he is asleep. Ivy Boy?
Alright, Ivy Boy, try and reel him in with your vine whip.
Alright, go for it. You're just aiming right for the Carp. You have advantage because he is asleep, so he's not thrashing about, moving around, and all the other Carps kind of swam in towards Poliwhirl over there.
Okay. Natural 20.
Natural 20. Ivy Boy goes flying out, wraps around the golden carp and pulls him up and pulls him all the way onto shore, and it is laying there asleep. But he has pulled him out of the water.
Beautiful.
Are we still on initiative?
No, you can be out of initiative at this point. The Magikarp that are in the water are just kind of like splashing around and kind of just like charging about.
Well, who gets it?
doesn't matter to me who wants to try and catch this thing.
I have the best ability of it.
I will add for fun that this is not any of your special Pokemon, similar to Eevee. So this is just a free random encounter with a shiny Pokemon.
I'm gonna throw a Pokeball.
I have a special shiny Pokemon, so I think you guys should want to be too.
23.
23. So you throw the Pokeball, hits on top of Karp, flips over, catches. Ivy just disappears out of Ivy Boy's grasp. Bump, 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 ching. 23 was the DC needed to catch.
Wow,
this.
really?
Yes.
Wasn't it being asleep?
Yes, but it's at full health. And it is
true.
a level 8 Karp. So when you add that Magikarp into your party, it knows Splash and Dragon Rage. To get Dragon Rage onto it in the app, you will have to go to like all moves and search for Dragon Rage to add it to it. It is shiny. It is level 8. It is a male, and it has a nature of apathetic, +2 con and -2 dexterity.
So Silver, who gets it?
You can have it, man.
Sure.
Absolutely. That's absolutely fine with me.
You're nice.
Water types aren't my forte.
He's a fire type.
Yeah, I'm a fire
yeah,
type.
give
I'm
me
just
one.
really getting it.
My thoughts.
Sure. Makes sense.
Fair.
Alright, you
Okay,
said
so-
Magikarp, male, apathetic.
Yes, a Magikarp male apathetic. It's a shiny level 8, full health with Splash and Dragon Rage.
That was easier than I anticipated it was going to be.
It was very
Yeah,
easy.
Yes, there are a couple of
You
these
guys
random
did it.
encounters that are out in the world. You guys have missed a couple in the past. Not necessarily all shiny, but there are random encounters like this that you guys can do. That just an additional random special Pokemon, not as special as the 3 special Pokemon that we have throughout, but they have something special, like a Magikarp that knows Dragon Rage.
It's pretty good. And when does a Magikarp evolve?
I want to say at level 6.
Yeah, so it's literally going to evolve.
Yeah, at level 6. So the next
That means
time,
it could technically evolve, couldn't it?
yeah, as soon as you give it another level, it'll level up or evolve.
I can't do anything with it though.
Nice.
I have a full party, so I have to go move some things around.
Yeah. So, what you guys want to do? Don't all jump at
Well, we
once.
did
All right.
If you might need
And with that,
Little
you are
more.
able to catch your shiny Magikarp. So what do you guys want to do?
beautiful.
Well, we can tick that off the list. What's next?
You guys want
Fellas?
to hit the gym?
I worked out earlier.
Gotta hit the gym. She said she would be there between 8 and 4.
Yes. No.
We-
8 and 3.
I thought you said
Well,
it's
4
closed
because
now.
she
Closed
went to the
now.
university at 4.
Yeah, because you got. Oh no, yeah. 8 to 4. She did tell you guys before she left she was going home for the day and she'd be back at her gym the following morning.
So we could wake up tomorrow, fight the gym, and then investigate the university. Maybe we could poke around a little bit tonight. Up to you guys.
Well, it's nighttime.
Yeah, it's
We
about
got these,
5:30. All the walking around, everything done. About 5:30.
It's nighttime.
Why don't we
Sun's still
give
up.
it a little bit longer? Why don't we give it a little bit longer? Wait till the sun goes down, and then maybe we try and sneak in, check some stuff out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can do that.
Cool. So what do you guys
Sounds
spend
like
your
a
time
plan.
doing?
Is our base right there?
It's on the other side of Celadon City. It'd take you about
Ah.
half an hour to get to it.
That's far.
6. Yeah, I mean, I guess I would just take this time with I'd probably pull Onyx and Ivy Boy out. Excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. I'd take Ivy Boy and Onyx out and kind of just run some practice rounds, practice battles.
Yeah, this is something I was thinking about. Something I think might be helpful that you guys can do during downtimes like this. Since we don't do a bunch of wild encounters, since it kind of draws out of time. If you guys take downtime like this, I can say you can pick a Pokemon and do some training with them and give them, say, like 500 XP for each hour you spend working with them. I think would be a good way to help add XP to your Pokemon, since we don't do a lot of wild encounters. Does that sound good?
All right. Yeah, I like that.
Cool. So it's about 5:30. So however long you want to spend.
I am going to do it with Ivy Boy.
I would say you can do 500 experience an hour. If you want to do more than one Pokemon, you're going to split that experience. So if you do 2 Pokemon, they each get 250 experience.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I'll just do it with Ivy Boy. And how long would it take to get dark in this kind of?
It's typically been getting dark at about 8:30 ish.
Unless somebody can test, I will spend all
3 hours.
All 3 hours doing that.
Cool. Are you guys down for that as well?
Yeah, I'm looking at who I want to do that with.
Cool.
Me too.
So you guys would be able to train 1,500 experience during that time. 1,500 to one Pokemon if you spend the 3 hours just training with that one Pokemon. Or you could spread it out through a couple of your Pokemon throughout and kind of spread that out however you'd like.
I'm going to do the full 3 hours with Charmeleon.
Cool, yeah. So what kind of training do you guys do?
I'm going to be doing drills on kind of dodge moves and kind of just being able to strafe and then, go into a Vine Whip move, kind of agility-esque.
Are you doing this all with Ivysaur or with
Ivysaur?
Your whole 3 hours to Ivysaur. Yeah, so you're doing that. You kind of like jumping back and forth. You like gather up some rocks off of the ground and you like toss them at him, and he like jumps out of the way of one, jumps out of the way of the other one, slaps one out of the air with his Vine Whip, and it's kind of just going back and forth as you guys do that, doing some drills, running back and forth. Tyler, what are you doing with Charmeleon?
We're going to train with the Dragon Rage ability, just learning better ways to like set up and hit more things at once.
So you kind of like get like some twigs that you find around. You guys kind of go a little bit closer to the forest, and you like set some up in like a pattern, and he's like jumping around, like slashing at some of them, turn around, sends a Dragon Rage at like 5 sticks that are set up, not exactly in a row, but he's like landed in the perfect position to like line them straight up in a row, and like knocks out all 5 of the sticks. Ariana, who are you training with?
With Pikachu.
Okay, what are you guys doing?
And I'm throwing like rocks or something in the air for him to thundershock at.
Oh yeah. Like he's jumping back and forth. You like toss a rock up into the air, and he goes Pikachu, and like hits it, and it goes like flying off. He starts using like quick attack to like quickly like run around, like jump up into the air, and like hit some rocks away with his tail. And then, like, while he's there, like, sending a thunder shock at one of the other rocks that are, like, falling through the air and, like, knocking it to the ground. And you guys feel, like, pretty well with these. Go ahead and also take 1 point of additional bond with these Pokemon, because I'll count that as, like, a mini bond session with these 3. And since you guys have bonded with these Pokemon before a couple times now, I'd say go ahead and move them up another loyalty. So that would be, what, loyalty 2?
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
Heck yeah.
Which isn't max loyalty. You guys are all... Loyalty plus 3 is where max loyalty comes into play. But you guys are definitely forming a really good bond, especially with these 3 Pokemon that you guys have been...
starters.
Yeah, your starters. Definitely your starters.
Nice.
Cool, let me find. So just for the friends at home, so loyalty +2 means that your Pokemon is pleased with you. A pleased Pokemon puts great trust in their owner and enjoys spending quality time with him. Pokemon at this level gain an additional 5 hit points and +2 to any saving throw they make. And the app should auto increase their HP with that. I don't know if it auto gives the +2 to their saving throws. I think it does.
It does.
Oh, cool, it does. Sweet.
Freaking Charmeleon's deck save is now +7.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Sweet. So what do you guys want to do after all this? It's about 8:30. The sun has gone down. You guys are kind of like sitting around the shoreline there, kind of relaxing. Ivysaur is kind of like chilling a little bit in the water. Charmeleon is like laid back in front of it, and Pikachu is kind of just like digging in the sand. And builds a pretty nice looking sandcastle.
Ooh, nice. Good job, Pikachu.
Creative little Pikachu.
The most creative little Pikachu you've ever seen.
Well,
I was just gonna say, all right, Silver Arena. What's our game plan here?
well,
Are you Silver?
well, Silver.
Oh my gosh!
I didn't know we were talking in the third person, but I, Leaf, would like to investigate the university now.
Wow, what the heck is your character's name?
Leaf?
Leaf.
My character's
We've done this how many times
I
now?
know.
traveling for a few days together, and we also kind of joined our organization about the same time, so I feel like you should know my name.
Right. Well,
What's Yellow doing, I wonder?
I don't know. What is Yellow? I could text her.
you could text.
Go ahead and text her.
I'll text Yellow. Hey, what up? What you up to?
You up?
Oh no.
She responds like maybe 5 or 10 minutes later. Nothing much. Just finishing up some things in Saffron City. Thinking I'll head over to Celadon City and take on the gym tomorrow. What have you guys been up to?
What do you do, Celadon?
Well, you're in Celadon City right now.
Oh,
So she's heading to.
Okay, Saffron City. I keep picturing Saffron City being Celadon City, and this being a different.
You're in Celadon City. Saffron City is where you just came from.
Silphco is a very tall building, and I keep thinking that's a department store,
Yes. So.
even though that's the department store right there. Text back. Yeah, we just chilling. We're going to take the gym on tomorrow too. Actually, smiley face.
Less than 3.
She responds back and she goes, sweet, good luck. Maybe I'll see you guys tomorrow. No smiley face.
She's gonna take on the gym tomorrow. We might see her. She's in Saffron City. She'll be here tomorrow.
Ah.
All right, cool. Is she traveling tonight?
I think. Let me reread the text.
She said, I was finishing up some things in Saffron City. Gonna take up Celadon City tomorrow. She didn't say when she was traveling.
She didn't say when she's coming. You coming today or tomorrow?
About a couple more minutes pass, and she goes, I'm planning to head out in the morning.
She's coming tomorrow.
All right. I just wanted to make sure that if we are going to snoop around the university, that she doesn't see the 3 people that she took on in the cave roaming around the university.
Snoopy Snoop.
And now I can be weird and ask her where she is, and she'll think I'm just flirting with her when all actuality I'm not.
Oh.
Or she might just.
Are
think
you not?
you're weird.
Are you not though?
I don't know what
I thought you
Leaf
said you-
wants anymore.
Nobody knows what Leaf
Neither
wants
does
anymore.
Leaf. So, university?
Let's
Let's check it out.
do
Where's a
it.
good spot for us to throw in these masks?
Let's just walk up and see if it's open. See if they have night
All
school.
right.
So you guys walk up to the doors are still unlocked. The lights are on around campus. As you guys walk up, you see still a couple students hanging out in the quad. There's a couple sitting nearby with some books in their hand. It looks like they're studying, doing some stuff for a test. You see.
Hey, fellow school kids.
Oh, hi, hey, what's up?
Does the university do night school?
Yeah. They tend to have classes that run for like another looks at his watch about another hour or so. Some of the other stuff. A couple of the labs do later night stuff.
Cool, chill.
Yeah.
Hold up my fist. Groovy. Stay fly.
Marina,
Yeah.
did Leaf just say groovy?
I was trying to block it out.
And as you guys walk away, you hear, make a quick perception check, Leaf.
We are young, Leaf. You know we are young.
20.
You
30,
hear
20.
you hear him lean over to the other guy that he's studying with and go, did he just say groovy? What's this guy think it is? Like 19 set? What is this guy?
No, it's 1999.
No, it isn't.
Yeah,
Pokemon Red came out, isn't it?
No, that also is not the year Pokemon Red came out.
I don't know why I'm thinking of that.
And also, this takes place 5 years after that anyways. So
So maybe it is 1999.
no, it isn't.
When did Pokemon Red come
So what do you guys
All
want to do? You guys are on the quad, kind of right in front of the university.
I'm gonna look for a I forget what the actual term for it is, but essentially the big map or the itinerary of all the rooms.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the list of names.
Yeah,
things
so
like that.
you actually remember having seen it in the lobby where you guys talked to the secretary the day before, the older gentleman.
Okay, and I'm just gonna look for if it states any kind of like labs or if it has any of the directories for even like maintenance people, things like that, to see if there's any lower levels.
Yeah, so like on it, it has a couple mentions a couple of the different rooms. The room that you guys were actually in earlier that day. A few other. There is a one of the room references that as like a Pokemon Center training room. Looks like kind of like a little like fake hospital kind of set up in there, like a Pokemon Center. And then it says like the basement level. It shows that there are 4 different labs down there. It doesn't specify. It just says Lab 1, Lab 2, Lab 3, Lab 4. And then of course it has on the second level. It shows there's a few of the professors' offices there. You see Spinstar's office on the directory, and then you also see as well as the dean's office as well. Mr.
All right.
Dean Pelton.
Aizawa.
No, Dean Pelton.
So we have a few choices. These labs that are marked are very obviously classroom labs that probably don't have anything too conspicuous, but it might not hurt to check. But also, we have the dean's office. If we are able to get in there, or if somebody's able to get in there, then he might have some information on what's going on underground, on the low.
Check out those labs, see what's in there.
What'd you say, Tyler?
You can also check out the labs. See if anything nefarious is happening.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe let's go. Maybe we could split up, check the 3 labs first.
Sure.
Cool. Yeah, so you guys are very easily able to see a path that'll take you right down. Kind of leads down the first hallway. You guys pass the classroom you guys were in earlier that day with Erica, and there is a staircase pointing down. Thinking about it, this kind of describes the staircase that Spinstar was referring to when he saw the Machamp carrying crates down. So you can see the staircase going down.
Dr. Spinstar sounds like a sick DJ name.
Yeah, you know, Sean Spinstar. He's definitely not a fake professor. It's a psych joke. He's a real professor. It's a psych joke. Sean Spinster.
Yeah.
Shit Spinster. It's
Right.
fun. Some of these names are stolen from TV shows. Like Dean Pelton
Ah.
from Community.
It's been a while since I've seen Psych.
Yeah, so you guys are standing at the top of the staircase,
I can
and
move on.
you see a staircase going down. You see a little bit of light coming from down there as well. There's, of course, the hallway lights, but a bright light coming from down there as well.
All right. Well, if we come to a corner, is it just a straight hallway?
Yeah, like
we're
once you
looking
come down to the
down.
bottom, it's just a straight hallway with 4 labs. You do see one of the labs at the far end of the hallway does have a light on.
All right. unless one of you wants it, I think I'm gonna slowly head down there and check that one out. You all can come with if you want, or if you want to check out the other ones.
I'll check out another room if it's empty.
How far apart are these labs?
They're actually pretty decently spaced. Like, these labs look pretty large as you walk past, which is why you think there's only 4 of them. Nothing really stated on the boards what they're used for, but they're about 100 feet. Like, you come down, you see a doorway on each side of you, and then it's like another 100 feet before you see 2 other doorways on each side for other labs.
I would like to stealth as I'm going down the hallway, so I'm able to kind of come up, and if there's a window looking in, or if there's a door window, I can kind of peek in.
Each of them, you actually see each of them are solid doors, no windows in the doors.
I can see the light coming out from underneath the door.
The far back left class room, you can see kind of more light coming out from under the door than you can see from the others.
Well,
all
let's
right.
check out the other
Then
ones
once
first.
I get down there, I'd like to do whether it's a sleight of hand or a stealth to quietly
do a stealth check for me first. All of you roll stealth if you want to be stealthy. But while he's going to do that, Tyler, you can check the other labs as well.
Son of a gun! It's not a 1.
Oh,
I'm having
11.
mouse trouble. Stealth, 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 stealth.
Stealth.
Plus dos. Ha! 10.
Not very stealthy tonight.
Cool. So while you're going in there, Tyler, if you're wanting to check in one of the labs, make a sleight of hand. Eric, make a sleight of hand if you're opening up the far lab at the other end. Tyler, which lab door are you opening?
Which one is Eric opening?
So if you're like looking straight down the hallway, you have lab 1, lab 2 at the far end of the hallway that Eric's going to, lab 3 next to you, and then lab 4. So you're currently standing on your left is lab 1, on your right is lab 3.
And he's at lab 2.
And he's at lab 2. And then
What's across from him?
lab 4.
Guess I'll check 4.
Cool. So make your sleight of hand check.
Which one has the
I got
lab?
it.
Lab
17.
3, which he is opening
Okay.
the door to.
Oh,
No, I'm opening 2.
Oh, you're opening
Or
2.
no. Yeah, I'm opening 2. Yeah, so on the left side it goes 1, 2, and then on the right it goes 3,
3, 4, yes. So you're opening
maybe
2.
should
All right.
We should
Yeah.
leave 3 for last,
Okay.
since it has a lab.
Yeah, so I got a 17.
Okay, yeah.
I'll open 4.
You open 4. All right, make a sleight of hand check.
I got a 14.
16.
So, Eric, as you slowly turn the doorknob and open up, you see a very dark room. Stone everywhere across the ground. The walls also made of stone around. It looks like it's very insulated. Like you can't, like you kind of like peek your head in a little bit. You can't really hear much coming from the other rooms, even from above you. And you guys have noticed this while you've been down here. You see some lab tables spread throughout.
Wait, is this the one that had the light coming from it?
No.
That's the one I was trying to open.
Oh, I thought you said you were saving that one for last.
That's what I
Oh,
said.
is that 3?
Oh, Tyler said that. I thought you said that.
It's very
I mean,
confusing. The numbers are confusing.
So number 3, the one on the first door on the right, is the one with light coming through it.
Yes.
Okay, then I am saving that one for last.
Okay.
Yeah. From the placement, yeah, I would do that. I would go to the furthest ones first.
So you're looking at one of the ones that didn't have light coming from it, correct?
Yes, the one
Cool.
I was number 2.
Solid. So, solid stone everywhere. There's some lab tables in there, some computers. You see some bookshelves along the back wall, as well as what looks like some different containers. There's some closed like crates in the back, as well as what looks like what you've seen in Pokemon centers all over the place. What is typically used for healing Pokemon. Looks like this classroom is one of the ones where they train up-and-coming scientists and Nurse Joys and stuff like that.
Doctors.
All right, then I'll quietly shut it again and then move over to the next room.
Tyler, as you open up yours, you see again the stone. All of these rooms are completely stone. They very insulate a lot of the sound. You also see a ton of bookcases surrounding it, a bunch of different lab tables, some computers in the back, and then you also see kind of on the right side of it, smaller than you're used to, but what's drawn out to be a kind of a gym floor. This looks like it's typically a lab used for trainers and different stuff like that. And then Ariana, you open up the other one. Look inside the stone everywhere. You see this one is just full of desks. There's some different tables on top that you would typically see in like a hospital, gurneys everywhere. Typically looks like, for what you can see, something that doctors and whatnot would use. Like people doctors, not Pokemon doctors. And then you guys kind of like close the doors and like look down, and you guys all see each other outside in the hallway again.
I'm just going to kind of give a thumbs down like nothing's here.
I'm going to be like...
I guess we all walk up to number 2.
Cool. The light shining out from under it. Can't really hear anything coming. Oh yeah, okay. Make a perception check then.
I'll listen to the door.
All three of us?
Natural 20.
So with that, you put up your ear to the door, and it's very still. Even with a natural 20, it is very deafened. Like, these are like large doors, but you can hear someone kind of muttering to themselves. You can't really make out what they're saying. You hear like the clinking of something together. You can assume it's probably something made of glass. You can hear the slight rustle of paper and pen on paper, but that's about it.
There's someone in here.
Is anything conspicuous going on?
Sounded like they were muttering and working on something.
Okay. Well, Leaf, do you want to try and peek inside, or
Should we put on your mask first?
should we put on our masks? Make sure that we're not known who was checking us out if we need to make a quick run.
So we have 2 decisions.
I think put on masks.
We're stage whispering also.
Yeah. I assume. Because you're stealthing, so I assume you're whispering.
So we either, if we put on the masks, this guy catches us, he'll think we're robbing the place. But if we don't put on masks, and he's a good guy, he'll ask us, "What are you guys doing?" And we'll be, because the school's technically open right now.
That's true.
I'll let you
We could
guys
just
decide
say
which
that we were
path we wanna
touring
go
to
on.
see what their night program would look like.
We're just walking around we'll explore in the school.
And if it turns bad for us, then we can hold our own. So maybe the touring student is the best way to go.
Sure.
All right. Well, how about this?
You can
me and
stealthily
Marina.
open the door though.
How about me and Marina stand off to the side, stealthing, so that if he sees only you, or whoever it is sees only you, then he doesn't. Not everybody is seen right away.
Okay.
Are you going to try and slowly open the door, or are you just going to fling it open and walk in?
Slowly open the door.
Alright, make a sleight of hand check for me.
That was a 3.
That was a 3.
So
Oh, it's a map. Great.
that means dangerous thing.
I have a map for all of them. So, as you open the door, you look in and you see a large room similar to the room that you saw earlier. Directly across from this all happens. Directly across from you, you see bookcases along the wall. You see some desks that are pushed up against the wall that theoretically could be pulled out. You see a large computer to the far wall, some type of pit to the lower left, another desk right there, You see someone stood wearing a lab coat, an older gentleman that is sitting there writing on some papers. He has a couple of glasses of different beakers and whatnot next to him on the table. And then directly in front of you to the right, you see what looks like some types of pods with computers hooked up to them as well, issuing some readout that you don't know what it is. And you also see some crates in the other corner over there as well that look like they have been opened. And as you do that, he... hello? Who are you? What are you doing here?
Oh, hello. My name is Jonathan. New student to the school. I was just kind of looking around. I saw a light on. Thought I'd pop in and see who's here.
Well, this lab is currently closed right now.
Oh, my apologies.
Yes, the definitely... And he kind of steps up from the desk and kind of like takes a few steps towards the door. There shouldn't be any labs going on right now. So no students should be down in the basement level right now.
Oh yeah, I was here for night school. My class just ended, and I was just kind of wandering around. Saw a light on, thought I'd pop in.
Takes a couple more steps over, and he goes, "You should be going now. Make a perception check for me."
Ooh, where's he going?
17.
It looks like he is definitely trying to block whatever on those readouts and trying not to let you see what's on them. And he is kind of like walking towards you, but kind of like trying to block your view of what's on these readouts. He's like, you should be going now. And he like steps another foot closer and like puts his hand on the door because the door kind of opens into the lab. And he like grabs the door and goes, "Have a good night, Jonathan."
Do you need any help? I'm an aspiring researcher myself, and I'm very good at research.
I'm quite okay on my own. I thank you though. Have a good night.
Good night.
And he pushes the door closed.
What was that all about?
I don't know. He was hiding something though.
Is it time to throw on our masks and
Maybe.
give it some time first?
Maybe we wait. He saw my face, so if all of us go in there, he'll know it's me, or he'll think it's me anyways. So maybe we should wait a little.
Well, we should definitely give it some time, because if we go in right away, he'll be able to put two and two together. But this seems to be the place we need to come back to when we do come back. What do you think, Leaf?
I don't know.
Marina?
No, I think you're right. It'd be nice if we can get in there now. Could we tie up and hypnotize that guy? I mean, he saw your face though.
He did see my face. So if anything, it'll have to be you two.
I could try and get Jigglypuff to put him to sleep with a nice, beautiful song.
You know,
Maybe you could just send Jigglypuff in there on his own.
You guys could put your masks on, and I'm your hostage. And you guys were robbing the school, and you guys happened upon me at the same time as we closed the door.
And what do we do when the police come?
We'll keep him in the room. He won't be able to get to the police.
But then that links
sounds risky. It's like it's going to give us more attention than we want.
This guy is obviously up to no good. He wouldn't want the police involved anyways. I like the hostage idea.
Okay.
And if we're able to get in there and put him to sleep.
Then just open the door and send Jigglypuff in, let him do his thing.
How about this? I knock on the door, he answers, you punch me in the back of the head, I'll be super dramatic and I'll fall unconscious, and then you guys can attack him.
Perfect. I think that's a good idea. What do you think, Marina?
Sure. Let's do that.
All of you make perception checks for me.
14.
Natural 20.
Ooh. Tyler and Ariana, you guys can't hear this. Silver, though, as you hear something moving around inside. You hear something heavy being moved around inside.
Guys, if we're going to do anything, we need to do it now. He's doing something in there. He may be rearranging things. I'm not sure.
All right. Let's bust in.
All right. Leaf, go ahead. Let's get Mass on Arena. And I'm also going to throw out Merida, just kind of so that I can hit Leaf, and then Merida can go in and try and knock this dude out.
What about Puffkin?
Well, I feel like this is going to be more of the faster approach. What do you think?
Violence is always the answer.
I'm gonna use Poliwhirl, and I'm gonna tell Poliwhirl, the guy in the lab coat, put him to sleep. Don't worry about what happens to me, bud.
Poliwhirl.
All right, so I'm a knock on the door. Doom, 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 doom. Professor?
Sorry, you'll have to come back later.
Professor, there's an issue out here.
Nope, I'm very busy in here. Please come back at a later time.
Try to open the door.
It's locked.
Leaf, yell help.
Help! Professor!
I am so I cannot hear you. I'm sorry.
I make like dramatic hitting noises.
Merida, try and kick down the door.
Professor, help!
Nothing. Make an attack roll.
Okay. Yeah, either one. So. Oh, son of a gun.
That hits. Roll damage. It's a door. It's pretty large. Low AC.
So that is.
It's an AC of 9. So.
9 damage.
So you hit into the door, and it's hard and it is loud. And when you hear that, you hear everything in the room go silent. What's going on out there?
I'm being attacked, Professor! Help!
I will call for campus security. One moment. I will call for the Officer Jennies.
Merida, hit the door.
Go ahead and roll damage again.
11.
So the door itself is pretty solid, but you see to the side of it, like what's holding it in starts to like creak in the door. It looks like this door is about to come off its hinges. And he goes, no, campus security will be here in a moment. Anyone out there, better run away.
One more time, Merida.
Poliwhirl's also gonna hit it.
All right, damage for that. Poliwhirl, roll an attack.
That was 7 for Merida as well.
Cool. It's just eking and barely just on it.
16.
And roll damage for that.
8 damage.
When you do that, the door splits in, kind of like crumpling in, popping off of the hinges, and it just falls and hits the ground. And you can see back into the room now. You see him. He is across the room, over to the other side, working on that computer, and you also see a champ that is moving through towards whatever is over to the bottom left over there, with one of the crates in his hands, in his arms, and they both kind of like look at the door, and they see you stood there with 2 Pokemon next to you, and he goes, you need to go now.
Well, what do we have going on here? And I'm just kind of walking. I don't have control of my character. I have control of Merida, though.
Ooh, weird. Let me delete you and throw you back in.
Machamp, you said?
Yes. Do you have control of yourself now?
Yes, I do.
Cool. Yeah, it's a Machamp. Do the rest of you have control of yourselves?
No.
No.
I have control over the Poliwhirl.
Tyler, do you have control of yourself now?
Yeah.
Ariana?
Yes.
Cool, sweet. That's a weird glitch. Yeah, so he's it's a Machamp standing there holding one of the large crates between its forearms, and he is now on the other side typing away at that computer. The two screens that are directly in front of you are now off.
Well, Poliwhirl's gonna do his
bring
order I
out,
gave him, I guess.
He's gonna do what now?
The order I gave him.
Which was?
Put the guy in the lab coat to sleep.
Cool, so Poliwhirl goes...
I'm not entering also channel.
Yeah, that Poliwhirl goes running up to see it. He is going to make a wisdom save. And that is a 16 on the wisdom save.
No, that just beats it.
So
By that
it
much.
hits him, and he kind of like stumbles back a little bit. And he, Machamp, attack! And the Machamp kind of like drops the crate, and it hits the ground, and the top kind of like pops off of it as it do. And roll initiative for me.
So, Chandler, I can't be in the room.
Why?
Because that's the plan.
Oh, I know, yeah, but
I can't be in a Pokemon battle against him.
that's fine.
So my Poliwhirl is going to act on its own.
14 for Merida.
Cool.
10 for Poliwhirl.
12 for Pikachu.
Little Pikachu. All right, cool. Eric, you are at top of the order.
All right, I am going to I'm just going to be moving out of the way myself, and then I'm going to say, actually, what was that? Okay, so a seismic toss, throw a creature into the ground. Would that also make them prone? Have
Yes.
to get up?
Yeah, they would be prone.
Okay. Merida. Not Merida, I didn't say that. That's my one.
That's your one.
That's my one. Mankey, seismic toss.
And the Machamp? Yeah,
Gonna
so
go
he
up.
runs up and rolled a hit.
Natural 20.
Yeah.
So that actually does that. So on a normal one, it does equal to the opponent's level. On a crit, it does double.
To the opponent's level?
Yes.
This is a level 12.
So it'll do 24.
Cool. 24 points of damage. So it's like kind of
Yes.
strange. Your Mankey is like, this Machamp is twice its size, and it kind of comes up, and like as it comes in, Machamp like kind of throws out a punch, and Mankey catches it and kind of like using its weight that it just pulled to like flip it up into the air and then like slam it onto the ground as it takes those 24 points of damage.
Did you already double that?
Yeah, 12 it was his level, and then double is 24.
I thought it was 24.
No.
Getting double 48.
So yeah, so you just throw him onto the ground. So Machamp is just lying on the ground there, and next up is Ariana.
Okay. I am going to move distance, which is 30 feet.
Okay.
So, where's my ruler? There's my ruler. So I'm going to move straight across and use Thundershock.
Cool. Go for it. Roll to attack.
You doing that on the Machamp?
Yep.
Cool. Ooh, we
Natural
are
20.
filled
Oh
with
my
nats
gosh. All right, go ahead and roll damage.
today. Holy cow.
Does it get paralyzed on a natural 20?
From an electric, from that move, do they get paralyzed on a natural 20?
I don't know. It would say there if it does. What happens if you roll high?
No.
Cool. So that is 9 damage, doubled to 18.
Yeah.
Yeah,
18 damage.
And it is Poliwhirl's turn. So, Poliwhirl has 4 moves. The last thing he was told to do before he came in was to knock out the professor. So he's going to attempt to hypnotize the professor again.
That's what I was gonna say. He might as well continue that.
That is a 14 save for the professor.
No.
So as he turns and throws the hypnotize on him, coming out, the professor is kind of no, he's still typing and looks up and just.
No, he's awake. He's awake.
Oh.
DC's 11.
Oh, DC's 11. Oh, misheard you. So he's look, and he's no, and he goes back to his computer, which is going to be his turn now, and he tip-taps away on that computer there, and then he is going to move over to the other screen, and it is
deleting data.
Machamp's turn. Machamp is going to stand up, and then he is going to turn and do and attack the Mankey here in front of him. So that is a.
So was getting up not his action?
No, that just takes half movement to get up.
Oh, okay, that's right. I remember.
So that is 23 to hit.
All right. Yes.
So that does a nice. That does 19 damage. So he just jumps up, and as he jumps up, 2 of his arms just come flying and just slap Mankey across the face, across his stupid face. Is what Machamp thinks. It might not be his stupid face to you, but to Machamp, he's slapped him in the stupid face. Back to the top of the order with Eric.
All right. You gonna let him throw you around like that?
Machamp.
Boy, get in there.
Okay, I just had to read.
Reading can be helpful, and Ariana, you are on deck.
You gonna let him do that to you? Low kick. And he's gonna low kick.
And he just kind of sweeps the leg.
Yeah. With an 8.
And as he kind of sweeps in, Machamp kind of leaps into the air over it and kind of lands back on the ground as Machamp or as Mankey misses. And Machamp just kind of looks at him, pulls his fists up. Ariana. And...
So would I be able to still move at this point?
Oh yeah, you can still move.
Would I be able to disengage?
Yeah, there is no engaging in Pokemon, so you don't have to disengage. You can just move.
Okay, cool. So Mankey's going to move 5 and gain. Just going to move away slightly.
Cool.
Alright, so Pikachu's going to go for Thunder Shock again. The 9.
That misses as well. So as he kind of does, I'm also going to throw, just so you guys see it right there, is the box that Mankey was carrying, the crate that's kind of on the ground there. So as he kind of goes in for that, Machamp kind of flips around and does a Matrix cut type move as he flies back as the Thunder Shock just goes flying over him and hits into this table that's over here that the professor was working on. And as that happens, a couple of the papers go scattering. One of the glass tubes goes crashing onto the floor and kind of breaks open. And you guys see a Pokeball that kind of rolls across the table and rolls and falls onto the ground as well. And then it is going to be Poliwhirl, who is still going off of the order of put the scientist to sleep. So he's going to go for hypnosis. And that is a 9 plus 2. That is an 11.
That's DC.
That's DC. Hey, you'll put him to sleep eventually.
I was saying, so on the Magikarp, when it hit 11 DC, it went to sleep.
Oh, you right. Because
You did it on Magikarp.
I did, but I had misunderstood the AC at the time. So you know what? Just for you, I'll give you a reroll. That's what.
Well, now it's going to be a natural 20.
Natural
For
20.
you.
It's actually a natural 3. So is what I rolled. So he's like typing away on the computer and just like he's like trying his hardest not to look at Poliwhirl, and like as it comes up, he looks over and just gets hypnotized, and then just falls headfirst onto the computer, and then just like slumps down to the floor. So he is just laid down on the floor, asleep for what is it, like 3 turns?
It doesn't say.
A creature that is asleep is incapacitated, blah blah blah. A sleeping creature can roll a d20 as a bonus action beginning of each turn, waking up on the result of a 13 or higher. Oh, to a maximum of 3 rounds. So he will be asleep for 3 rounds, and then he will just auto wake up. But on the beginning of each round, he can attempt to roll to see if he wakes up. So with that, it is his turn. So he is going to roll to wake up. That is a natural 4, so he stays asleep. And it is Machamp's turn. So Machamp is going to chase after the Mankey and is going to go for a low sweep on him. That is going to be a 14 to hit.
Yes.
Cool. So he comes chasing up behind you and kind of like does like a baseball slide into Mankey and just like kicks up at the last second, dealing 13 damage as he just slides in and kind of just kicks into him. No, 14 damage. I had that math off wrong there. So kicks into him there, and then it's back to the top of the order with Mankey.
All right. Mankey's going to seismic toss him again.
Cool, go for it. Seismic toss away.
You know what? Actually, no. He's gonna low kick.
Okay, go for the low kick away.
Just whatever it is, just do it. Oh God.
That's a nat 1. So as you kind of go in for the kick right there, Machamp just grabs him by the leg and is just gonna send him flying and just throws Mankey up against the table over there, and he goes crashing into the table and falls to the ground and takes 3 bludgeoning damage as he like slams up against the table and is kind of like starts to like pull himself up. Ariana?
Mankey's really not looking good.
So you're beating up my friend, and I don't like that. So we are going to do another Thunder Shot Pikachu. 20, not natural.
So that hits. Roll damage.
I.
Ooh.
17 damage.
Max damage.
Max damage.
Cool. So that kind of slams into him, and you can see like he kind of like turns around after like throwing Mankey and like turns around and he looks pissed. And with that, it is Poliwhirl's turn. So Poliwhirl was only commanded to put the guy to sleep, and that is what has happened. You can see that he's fallen asleep. What do you do? What do you do, Leaf?
I'm going to tell Poliwhirl to
So the
I didn't
professor
think
is
it
asleep at this
could
point. So
control
he
it.
can come in.
Poliwhirl, make sure that professor stays asleep. But if he is asleep, attack the Machamp.
Yeah, so he's looking at me sleeping. Poliwhirl's. So Poliwhirl's going to step over here and is going to use
And then I'm gonna hide.
Bubble, I assume. Does he have Bubble?
He has.
What are his 4 moves?
Double Slap, Hypnosis, Water Gun, and Rain Dance.
Okay, well, since you told him to make sure he's asleep, he's going to stay near him, and he's just going to hit a Water Gun. So go ahead and roll an attack with Water Gun.
7 miss.
That misses. So you like kind of send the Water Gun, kind of goes flying a little, like Poliwhirl's kind of like trying to keep an eye on the professor. It goes everywhere, kind of hits up against the crate, and kind of like sends the crate kind of like moving a little bit. You can hear some jostling around from inside of there. And it's the professor's turn. He's going to see if he wakes up. That is a 7 plus 3. That's a natural 10, so he does not wake up from that. It's not a natural 10. It's a natural 7 plus 3. It's a 10. So he doesn't wake up from that. So Machamp is going to now turn around and kind of run over towards this Pikachu and is going to go for a wake up slap on Pikachu here.
Crushed a little Pikachu.
That's going to be a 14 to hit.
That's AC.
That's AC. Cool. So he is going to do 16. That's 21 points of damage to Pikachu. As he kind of just runs up and just like slaps Pikachu hard across the face there, and Pikachu kind of like slides back a little bit, and like it looks very determined. It's that Pika. Top of the order with Eric with Ariana on deck.
All right. Mankey's gonna come all the way up.
Yeah, Mankey kind of like gets up off the desk, kind of like pushes some stuff to the side, does a couple jumps, like hits on the desk a little bit, and then just goes charging towards Machamp.
Really frustrated. Is not feeling good at all, but gets really frustrated. Runs all the way up and is going to karate chop him.
Go for that karate chop.
18.
That hits.
Oh yeah. All right. 11.
Perfect. Very, very nice damage done to him there. So that it is Ariana's turn.
All right, Pikachu, get him again.
Pika!
13?
That misses. So it kind of go. Oh, no, you have advantage. You have advantage because he is being flanked.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
10.
Well, that misses. So, oh well. So like the bolt kind of like goes like skewering off to the side there. Kind of just goes off to the side. Poliwhirl is going to go up. Poliwhirl looks, sees that he's still asleep, and is going to go for a water gun again on Machamp. Go and roll to attack.
15.
That is AC. That hits.
All right.
Roll damage.
Wait, I have Mystic Water, so I can add my proficiency bonus to damage plus 3.
Yes.
11 damage.
Total.
Yeah.
Cool. So that does like kind of puts him to it. Machamp like kind of looks. He's kind of like looking around at all three of these, not sure where he wants to go. We'll go to Brown's turn. He's is still asleep during that, but he will wake up at the start of his next turn. Just because you're like it's been 3 turns.
Did I see that Pokeball fall out of the thing?
Yeah, there's a Pokeball that fell to the ground.
Oh, where is it on the map?
It is right here-ish. It just kind of rolled up onto the table onto the ground.
I thought of this last turn. Can't make it there in 1 turn. I can't do it this turn. Okay.
Cool. So that is going to be Machamp's turn. Machamp is going to... who would he attack here? Both of you guys have like hit him. Machamp has hurt him. Pikachu has also hurt him for a lot of damage here. I think at this point he kind of like looks around and sees all this. He's going to see his... he's going to see the side the professor is down, and Poliwhirl just hit him pretty much. I think he's going to run over and kind of like get in between the two of you there and then go for an attack on Poliwhirl here with another big slap. That is going to be a 12 to hit.
Miss.
So he kind of like runs over, and like as he goes in for it, kind of like slips a little bit and just misses you, and actually is going to hit that computer there and kind of just like smash the screen a little bit. The screen kind of like you see some like kind of come flying off of the screen there. And top of the order with Eric and Ariana is on deck.
All right, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do, but roll 20 crashed on me.
Oh no!
Is I should have enough movement
to get to him, absolutely.
With him, to be able to get up to him, and is going to do another karate chop.
Cool. Go ahead and roll an attack
on him. So that's going to be Dirty 21.
Cool, that hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
I would. So if you wanted to do 2d6 plus 3 for me.
2d6 plus 3.
Oh, wait, here we go.
Oh.
Got it. Got it.
14. Solid. Some solid damage done there. Ariana with Tyler on deck.
Is this thing not dead yet?
This thing is real tough.
Level 12.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go over here. And alright, Pikachu. Thundershock him again.
I choose you.
Go for it.
15.
That hits. Roll damage.
Awesome. 11 damage.
Very, very nice done there. So with that, it is Poliwhirl's turn. Tyler, you keep like stepping like off the map.
Yeah, I'm trying not. The door's right there. I'm not.
Yeah,
in
but
the
that's a
doorway.
wall right there, so you can't like gonna go past a
But
wall.
I'm right here. I'm right here.
Poliwhirl's last order was to make sure he's asleep and attack Machamp. He looks over, sees he's still asleep. He's gonna attack Machamp.
Even though he wakes up next.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that.
Seven. Dang it, guys.
That misses. So he kind of like
At
sends.
this point, mask and walk in.
Good. He sends like water, like going spraying over. Past him, kind of hits the. So the crate that is directly behind the professor is still there. The other crate was the one that Machamp is kind of carrying across the way. So he kind of like hits into that crate behind him. Kind of like pushes that one up against the wall. It kind of scatters away, and that actually kind of all that noise causes the professor to come to a little bit, and he like climbs up. Machamp, what? And he kind of like looks and sees all three of those Pokemon standing there, and he like quickly like hits something onto the computer there, and then he is going to take off running around them and kind of charge towards this over there, and that's about as far as he gets. Kind of like making a break for the table over there. And it's going to be Machamp's turn. Machamp is going to let's just roll to see who he attacks since they're all three standing in front of him. He's going to go for an attack on Mankey there. So he's going to turn around and go for a... you know what? He'll just go for another wake-up slap. That is going to be a 19 to hit.
Yep, that hit.
Cool, so that's going to be a smooth 16 damage.
Yeah, Mankey's out.
So he turns around and he just slaps Mankey, and Mankey just goes flying up against the wall over here and is just unconscious. And you see him standing inside the room, and you kind of like lift up your Pokeball and return Mankey to you. So you can go ahead and throw out another Pokemon if you want to, but they won't be able to do anything this turn.
I'm gonna throw an Ivy Boy.
Cool.
Do you have a psychic type?
I don't. Psychic?
Yeah, it'd be super effective against Machamp.
No, I don't.
So Ivy Boy comes popping out and kind of like just pops it in front of you, and it will be your turn because it is actually your turn now.
All right. Oh yeah. Oh, there he is. Cool. Yeah. So he's right there. And he had 30 feet. Boom. So. Yep, okay, so he's going to move right here.
Okay.
And is going to vine whip the professor to try and get him non-lethal, but to try and get him to back away from wherever he's running.
Yeah, of course. Go ahead and roll an attack, and Ariana's up next.
Okay. Dirty 21.
Yeah, that hits him for sure.
Nice.
So you like slap into him. Go ahead and roll damage for it. Anyways, it'll be non-lethal damage, but just to see what we do to him.
13.
So you kind of like slap into him, and he like kind of like falls back a little bit. He goes, Machamp, a little help here, and he kind of like gets back up. He doesn't look good. He looks like he is hurt real bad. And Ariana with Tyler on deck.
You know what I just thought of?
Our Pikachu Thundershock that Machamp again.
Go for it. What'd you just think of, Tyler?
16.
That hits roll
Even
damage.
We haven't been
16
calculating
damage.
our own personal hit points.
Cool.
What do you mean?
If you get damaged, is what Tyler's saying here.
Because technically, by default, we have 10, but every time we level up, we should roll our hit dice and get HP.
That's true.
Doesn't matter right now.
Doesn't matter right now. We can adjust that later. So yeah, you hit into him. Machamp is not looking good. He's not bloodied yet, but he's not looking good. So with that is Tyler's turn.
Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Hypnosis.
He's going to go ahead and make a wisdom save. That is a natural 11, so he is still awake. Plus 3, that's a 14. What are you rolling 4d8 for, Eric?
He rolled his hit.
That's my hit point.
Oh, okay.
Is our thing D8?
We're your humans.
Mine.
Well, I didn't know what it was.
Human hit die is normally a
it's
d8.
Plus your con.
So it is going to be Professor Brown. He's kind of like going to skeeter around this Ivysaur right here, and he makes a run over for the Pokeball that's on the floor, and he grabs it and picks it up, and that ends his turn. Machamp, seeing all that, is going to take off. Let's actually see how far is that. What is Machamp's movement? 30 feet. He can't get there. So he is instead going to just run to Poliwhirl here, and is going to make an attack onto Poliwhirl here with one of his last 2 wake-up slaps. That is a dirty 20.
That just barely hit.
Just barely. And that is going to be 23 points of damage.
Ouch.
As he comes up and just slaps into the back of Poliwhirl's head there. And then just keeps his movement going right over here, and he stops there. It is top of the order with Eric.
All right. Ivy Boy is going to come down 5, 10, 15, 20. He's going to come down here and turn around and face the professor, and then do the same thing, non-lethal, to try and either knock him out or knock him back.
Cool, yeah.
Towards the rest of them.
Roll an attack. He kind of like, as he like picked it up, as he like bent over to pick the Pokeball off the floor, he kind of like stumbled as he did. Natural 1.
Crit 1.
So Ivy Boy goes flying, and instead of hitting the professor, actually hits the Pokeball that's in his hand, and sends the Pokeball flying, to which it then lands right over here on the ground right there, and he like kind of like looks back and goes, You stupid Ivysaur! And kind of is like barely keeping himself up off the ground. Ariana, with Tyler on deck.
Can Pikachu go here and grab the ball?
It's like right on, it's on like this square right here. But yeah, Pikachu can run for it.
Right there? Wait, that's painting. What have I done?
What have you done?
How do I undo that?
Here, I don't know.
So that's the Pokeball right there. I'll get rid of it. So that's the Pokeball right there.
She's out of my reach.
You can dash to it, but you won't get to attack.
You could dash to it. But
Okay, I'll do that.
Cool. So
I mean,
Pikachu goes running over to it and like gets in front of the Pokeball and like picks it up and like has the Pokeball in its hand. So Pikachu is stood there holding the Pokeball in its hand, and it's Tyler's turn.
So Poliwhirl's gonna do what he was told.
Put him to sleep. Let's see. He kind of like runs forward a little bit to get in there, and that is again a 14. So he stays awake, but he is like kind of like stumbles onto the ground and like falls down onto his knees as that happens. Yeah. So we're gonna go back to the top of the order with Eric.
all right. All right. Ivy Boy is going to come up here and is actually going to do Actually, no. He's going to do that, and he's going to start charging up Solar Beam.
Cool. So he starts charging that up.
And aiming towards the Machamp.
Cool. So he kind of like comes up and like you guys can see it. Ariana kind of like peeking in from outside since she'd be watching to tell Pikachu what to do. And Tyler, you can like see the brightness kind of like starting to come from the inside. And it'll go to Ariana's turn. Ariana, start your turn off. Tyler as well since you're up next. The both of you go ahead and make perception checks.
Okay.
18.
4. Crit 1, actually.
You hear nothing. You see nothing. You are just focused in on this battle here. So go ahead and take your turn.
So Pikachu is gonna.
I'll get to you in a minute, Tyler.
And give me.
I don't want it to affect anything that she's doing since she didn't hear it. So Pikachu comes running over and just hands the Pokeball to you and just has the Pokeball there. And as you like look at it,
I take it.
It is. It looks different from a normal Pokeball. It doesn't look like you guys have seen Great Balls before. It doesn't look like that. It has a white base, but instead of the typical translucent red that you can see the Pokemon inside, it's a bit of a translucent pinkish color, and you can like see inside. You're not sure what's inside of this, just by a quick glance there. And from there, it is Tyler's turn. Tyler, with your 18, you hear something coming from the stairs. It sounds like someone is starting to charge down the stairs.
Campus security.
And it is your turn.
I'm gonna hear that, and I'm gonna pretend like I am knocked out.
So you kind of just fall to the ground?
No.
Well, I'm gonna tell her someone's coming, and then I'm gonna like.
You go, someone's coming, and then she looks at you.
Would I have made a perception?
No, you're not. You're not. You're inside the room with all of the walls, which kind of blocks out the noises.
Yeah. True.
I'm also gonna hand Marina Poliwhirl's Pokeball.
Okay, so you now
get him out of there.
You now have Poliwhirl's Pokeball as well. And Poliwhirl, still doing what he's instructed to do, is going to attempt to put him to sleep. And the good professor misses his save and drops to the ground asleep. He's kind of bruised. He's got a bit of a bloody nose, and he has just fallen to the ground asleep. And then it is his turn, so he's going to attempt to... Nope, fails his save. He is still asleep. Machamp is going to see all this, see... Ivysaur kind of charging up here, see that his professor is asleep, and is going to charge Ivy Boy there. Gonna go for one of his go into like second plate low sweeps here, and is gonna go for a 21 to hit. Does that hit?
Yes.
That's going to be... that's going to be 16 points of damage. Kind of just like kicks into Ivy Boy, and Ivy Boy just kind of like picks back, still just staring at him charging up. And it'll be Ivy Boy's turn.
All right. And then it's going to release Solar Beam.
Cool. Is Solar Beam like a dex save that he has to make, or is it like an attack?
It's an attack.
Okay, cool. Go to roll to hit.
It is a dex save, but so I still roll for it. Either way, he's going to take damage. But
if he saves, he takes half damage.
Yes.
Cool. And it's a dex save, I assume?
It's a dex save, yeah.
That is a natural 2. That is a 3 total. Or a 5 total, because he has a +3. So 5 total. Cool, so he takes the full damage.
Fails. Here we go. 21.
So Ivy Boy kind of like props down, like Machamp kind of like slides over and like kicks into Ivy Boy, who kind of like stumbles back and goes, Ivy, and kind of just plops down and pops the flower at him and just hits him with this solar beam that sends him flying up against the wall to the other side with the bookcases, and he like crashes into it and drops to the floor, and the bookcase next to him just falls and hits the floor. Books come flying off of this bookcase, and he is unconscious, and you guys are out of initiative.
All right, I'm gonna lean at the door real quick and say, "All right, one's asleep, one's knocked out."
There's someone coming.
What?
Make a perception check.
Ivy Boy in.
Now that you like leaned out the door.
Perception is good, so do this. 17.
You see someone. They have just gotten to the bottom of the stairs. They're about 120-ish feet away from you. They just got to the bottom of the stairs. You see some more people kind of coming around, coming down the stairs, and they're running towards you guys right now.
We're done.
I pull in Ivy Boy.
Okay.
And I take off my mask.
Okay, you kind of take it off.
Take off my mask as well.
You take off your mask. Tyler, you're still laying on the ground.
I'm leaning over and starting to huff.
I'm gonna fall.
Do you pull in Poliwhirl or do you leave Poliwhirl out, Ariana? You have the Pokeball.
Oh, pull him in.
Cool. So you
yeah, I take him in.
Pull in Poliwhirl as well. So
thank you.
As you guys are doing that, you guys are like sitting there. Tyler is laid up against the wall, slumped over. You guys see 3 security officers come running up, and they go, and they like have like, sticks in their hand, batons in their hand, and they all 3 have a Pokeball in their hand, and they go, "Oh, what's going on here? The professor called for campus security."
I'm assuming that I'm out at this point.
Yeah, if you walked out, yeah, you said you walked out, you pulled it out. What's going on? Like you're like huffed over, and like one of them just has like their Pokeball, and they're just like ready to drop it at a moment's notice. What's going on here?
The professor, the 3 masked, and then I'm just gonna kind of go down to a knee.
The 3 masked what?
The 3 masked people. They attacked. They attacked us, and
where did they go?
I think they went down that hole, down that pit over there.
It's not a pit. That's just fire. That's just a fire pit.
Oh, I thought you said there was a pit.
They climbed into the fire.
No, it's like a fire pit.
Then I'll say they ran back the way you came. You didn't see them?
Make a deception check.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Because they just ran down this way. They didn't pass anyone.
See, both of my compatriots just decided to slump over on me, and all I had.
My plan was to say the professor attacked us.
I feel like it would be on his side, and that is
maybe not.
Plus.
He was being sketch.
8.
I'm gonna roll a little insight check here. Ooh, natural 20 on his insight, and he just looks at you and he goes, I don't think that's what's happened on he. And his Growlithe kind of pops out next to him, and he goes, Growlithe, keep an eye on these 2, and he turns to his other 2, and he goes, keep an eye on these 3 out here, and he kind of like tells you like come over and sit down, and he kind of like walks in here, and he turns back around, and he goes, that the professor looks to be unconscious as well as the Machamp unconscious. There's Call the dean. And one of the other guards goes, and you see him like go further into it. And you guys don't know where he goes. He just walks in. The guard that's standing next to Silver kind of pulls out his phone, and you hear him make or pulls out his radio, and he like radios in. And then the other one in front of Marina like pulls out her phone, and she calls for the dean. And yes, that seems there's some trouble in the in lab 3 down in the basement.
There's a Growlithe watching us. Otherwise, I was going to say something else.
Yes. Yeah. If you get down, we're not sure what's going on. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. kind of hangs up there. And the couple minutes pass. The security officer kind of like sticks his head back out and he goes, he looks beat up pretty bad, and this Machamp has taken a beating, but a few other things in here that I'm not sure exactly what was going on in here. And the other guard goes, what?
What told you? 3 masked men attacked him and attacked my friends and me.
He goes, there were no masked men coming into here. I don't know what you're talking about. And he kind of walks over and hands a paper to the other guard. Kind of like grabs it, looks at it, and goes,
hey, technically I wasn't lying there because there were some masked men.
No, you were lying that they ran off somewhere. And he's like, where?
You're right.
So he kind of like looks at this paper for a minute. He goes, I don't know. He sneezes. He sneezes, and then he goes, oh, I don't. We should wait for the dean for this. We should probably call for an Officer Ginny as well. And hands the paper back to him. Few minutes pass. You guys doing anything or just sitting there? One of them kind of like kneels down and like tries to like slap onto Leaf's face and trying to wake him up.
What are you guys doing here?
What's your name, son?
My name is Leaf.
Oh, what are you doing here?
We're Pokemon trainers. We were exploring the school because we went to one of Erica's lessons today. So we were walking around the school. We saw there was a light on in here. We walked in, and then I don't remember what happened. I think I blacked out first. Whatever hit me.
And the other one kind of like shakes Marina, tries to get her to wake up.
5 more minutes, Mom.
Kind of shakes you a little hard. And then at the end of the pathway, you guys see probably like mid-30s, early 40s gentleman, completely bald head, kind of like walking down. I don't have a trainer token for you.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, you kind of like he's kind of like ding, ding. He's wearing a very colorful outfit as he like walks up, and he goes, hands on his hips. Now what's going on here?
Oh no!
And the guard that's in front of Asina kind of like, or not Asina, Marina, kind of stands up and like steps over to him and passes the paper that the first guard gave to him across the Growlithe, and the dean kind of takes it and goes, oh, well, this is Professor Brown? And the other guard who stood in there kind of like shakes it. Yeah, he's pretty knocked out cold in here. You should see some of the stuff he's got in here. And the dean kind of walks around and kind of walks in there with him, and you guys can hear them kind of like talking, mumbling in the background. A few more minutes pass, and then down the staircase comes another one of the security guards. He's followed with, and I don't have a token for them either, but followed by a Officer Ginny, who he is leading in. He goes, and he like points over there in the. So just for funsies, we will use we'll use because I just don't have one for that. You know what, for fun here, maybe we will if Roll20 wants to work with me right now. I think it's heard me say for fun here too many times, so it doesn't want to work.
Roll20's like, this isn't fun. This is not your fun.
What kind of fun would you possibly be having? We'll just throw Eric out here to symbolize Officer Ginny. So she kind of walks over, and she looks at the three of you. You, and she points at Silver. They said you said there are 3 masked men here. Can you describe them?
I wasn't able to really. So here's what really happened. I didn't want to say it to these guards because honestly I didn't know how serious they would take me. But since you're more official, and I'll kind of give a little, sarcastic look to one of the guards. I'll continue saying, what really happened was we were touring the university because we took a class from the gym leader Erica earlier, and we wanted to see what their night classes looked like. Then, when we came down here, we saw the light on, and we figured maybe it's a night program lab. So we walked in, and the professor had his Machamp attack us.
Make a deception check.
Slight truths.
Slight truth, though.
Slight truth, but she's also been told the other thing.
That's true.
Advantage.
22.
She kind of looks at you and she goes, so there weren't any masked individuals in here.
No,
No,
Officer Ginny.
no, there weren't any masked individuals.
We've heard about these people. We've heard a
Yes.
lot about these people.
Team Shadow, yes.
Yeah,
That
just
that is
Yeah.
that is what we were assuming this was. But if it was the professor who attacked you, he might be connected with
linked
this
to
with
them.
some way. And as she's kind of like talking about that, the dean and the guard kind of step back out, and the dean looks over, Officer Ginny, could you come in here? And kind of walks in, and he goes, the three of you should come in here as well. And so
Oh.
they kind of bring in the three of you as well. You kind of walk in. This guard kind of like stays at the doorway. The Growlithe kind of stays there as well. Officer Ginny walks in. The other guard kind of like standing outside. And I don't have one for the dean either. So we'll say this Mr. Mime right here is the dean.
Ding, ding.
And so he kind of like walks over here. So you guys walk in. The professor is out cold. It looks like when he was put to sleep, he kind of just fell unconscious. The Machamp is still on the other side, and the dean kind of like looks around and goes, "Bit of a tussle happened in here, I think." And Officer Jenny goes, "Yes, it looks like it." And she kind of like walks over and like looks into the crate, kind of like picks it open, drops it, and walks over to this, and she goes, "What is Professor Brown? What was he teaching? Does it have anything to do with this?" And the dean goes, "No, he should not have been using this lab at all. I had no idea he was using this lab." And this guard kind of like walks over and goes, "Dean, did you show her the paper?" And the dean goes, "Oh yes." And he hands her the paper, and she looks at it, and she just is like kind of reading it to herself. She goes, "The three of you don't know anything about these experiments that he seems to have been doing here, do you?"
No, we literally were just touring the school.
Yes, it looks like he is being funded by someone quite high, and something to do with those over there. And they kind of like look.
Team Shadow, could it?
That is what I'm thinking it might be. Team Shadow might have something to do with this.
Oh no.
And she kind of like goes over and is
Even
looking at
Cosmo?
this. And she kind of like leans into her radio and like calls for. She goes, "I need some backup down in the Celadon University, Lab 3, lower floor." She goes, I'm going to take the professor in for questioning. The three of you don't leave town. We might want to speak to the three of you in the morning.
We'll be at the gym tomorrow morning.
Wonderful. If we have any more questions, we shall come find you there. But don't leave town again until you've spoken to an Officer Jenny, please. And she kind of like walks over and goes, "Can I get your trainer cards, please?"
Here you
Sure.
And she takes your trainer cards and kind of writes some stuff down and hands them each back to you. And she goes, the three of these are free to go, I think, Dean." And he goes, "I can't believe it." What do you guys do?
I leave.
Yeah,
leave.
let's go.
Cool. So you guys,
As soon as we're out of the hook.
so you guys kind of walk out and start walking away. And as you guys hit the staircase, you guys start like walking away. You guys hear some talking back behind you. And as you kind of get to the top of the staircase, you see 2 or 3 more nurse or Officer Jennies like walk in. All of them with Pokeballs in hand, or kind of like on their side, their hands kind of like hovering near it as they like walk past you and like give you a quick nod as they like head down the stairs. What you guys do?
Yikes, guys.
Guys,
Yikes.
I think we that one was a little close.
And it's
But we accomplished what we wanted to accomplish. We got him caught.
Marina, did you get that Pokeball?
I did get that Pokeball. Where do you want to go check it out? Can't do it right here.
Let's go to the
Well,
Pokemon Center.
Go to the Pokemon
We
Center.
can get a room and just hang out in one of the rooms. Can I have my Poliwhirl back?
There you go.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So you guys head over to the Pokemon Center as you guys like kind of come inside. It's late at this point. It's kind of pushing kind of like 10 o'clock. There's very few compatriots out in the inn. Only there's 2 people sitting out there, and there is the innkeep back behind. And he sees you guys come in. He goes, "Any food? We're about to close up."
No, just a room.
Just the room, and then is this where I can heal? We can heal up our Pokemon too, right? Yeah.
Yes, this is a Pokemon Center. And he kind of like looks at you with like
Yes.
kind of sarcastic look on his face. And he
mixed up.
turns
It's late.
he turns to his little Rattata that's sitting on the counter, and he goes, "I hate college students."
Huh.
You live in a college town, dude. Get over it or move out.
And he goes, "So is that just one room for the 3 of you tonight?"
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's
Cool. That'll be 200 Poké-Dollars.
Great.
Whoever wants to pay it, or if you guys want to split it, however you want to do it. So he takes the money and he gives you a key. And he goes up the stairs, second room on the right. And you guys.
How much is the Pokemon Center again?
I want to say. I mean, I'll just check real fast. 150.
Okay.
So I'll put up 50 for the room because I already took out
Cool.
100.
So you guys get up to the top. You guys get into the Pokemon Center, or get into your room, and you guys kind of just like collapse onto the beds in there, just like thinking about what just happened. What do you want to do?
So I'm gonna pull out this pink Pokeball.
It's an odd-looking Pokeball, Marina.
Make a perception check, Marina, since you have it in your hand.
Okay. 17.
So like looking inside of it, typically your Pokeball, you can see the Pokemon inside of it, but this, you kind of like move it back and forth. It just looks like some like pink goo that's just like moving around inside of it as you like move the Pokeball around.
I'm gonna toss it
To who? To who?
and see.
Or like throw it and catch,
Oh.
send the Pokemon out.
Yeah.
So like as you like go to do it, it opens up.
And back out.
And the pink blob goes flying onto the floor, and it kind of like spreads out, and it kind of like looks up to you, just a glob on the floor, and kind of like pulls up. You see 2 like little dots for eyes and a little mouth, and it goes, "Ditto, ditto."
It's a Ditto.
Oh,
Nice.
Do you guys have any of your Pokemon out?
I would have had Ivy Boy out.
So
because we're in the room.
it kind of like looks over and sees that, and before you kind of like transforms into an Ivy Boy, but it still has its awkward 2 little eyes and its small mouth. So like you're like, oh, it's a double, but it's like, ditto.
No, say Ivy Boy.
Ivy boy, ditto. Itto boy.
There we go. That's the winner
Ivy
right
boy.
there. I'm
Ditto boy.
gonna pull out Charmeleon.
And it like looks at Charmeleon and like turns into Charmeleon and goes, Charmeleon.
Wow.
I'm gonna pull out my Luminosa.
And it
My Eevee.
turns into Eevee, and before you like Eevee kind of like shakes and turns into Jolteon, and like Ditto, who's Eevee, kind of shakes and turns into Jolteon, and they spend a minute like flipping in between the 3 before reverting back to Eevee, and it's just 2 Eevees standing looking at each other, 2 shiny Eevees standing at each other since he's Ditto and he transformed into a shiny one.
Wow.
And then he turns back to his normal
Well-
Ditto blob sitting on the floor. Ditto, Ditto.
Can we shiny check this Ditto?
Yeah, Tyler, roll for shiny check. What if it was?
Oh, it's mine.
Dang it!
I had Tyler roll because
It's mine.
this is Tyler's special Pokemon.
It's, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You guys would have learned that it was special
No.
had you guys read anything in there. So out of game, you guys have no idea anything about this Ditto other than it is a Ditto. But this is Tyler's special Pokemon that's in here.
Marina's gonna hoard all the stuff.
It's mine. I got it. I saved it.
So, like, you're still sitting on the bed. You still have the ball in your hand, and, like, the Ditto's on the ground. Ditto. Ditto. And kind of like...
Tyler, we did all for your special Pokemon.
I know.
For real.
I figured it was going to be mine back when Chandler talked about the Pokeball rolling around, and that's why I was going to run towards it, but I didn't want the professor to see me.
No, it was good. It was good.
So I'm going to toss the ball, the empty ball, to Leaf. And be like, what do you think about this? Looks kind of weird.
I know. I always like Dittos. They can do whatever they want.
Do you want this Ditto?
Sure, if no one else wants it, I'll take it.
Don't sound so excited about it.
Hey, Ditto!
And it kind of, like, comes over to you and goes, Ditto, Ditto, or, like, turns into the Charmeleon next to you. Charmeleon.
Do you wanna come with us?
And it, like, hits its head onto the Pokeball in your hand. Then it opens it up and it pulls Ditto into the ball in front of you. And you now have
Great.
a Ditto. And all you know about it is
Nice.
it's a Ditto. Bum
What's
bum
its
bum
stuff?
bum. It is a brave nature, +2 strength, -2 wisdom.
Dittos, are they neutral gendered?
I
Yeah.
believe so.
They are. They are, Chandler. Don't even check. That's why they can breed with everything.
That's what I thought, yeah. Ditto is genderless. So yeah, so you have a brave Ditto.
What level is it?
It is level... Let me see, it is level 8. And the only move it knows is, of course, transform.
Beef.
Bum 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 bum.
Nice.
And with that, the three of you gain a trainer level.
Ooh.
And as you guys kind of sit there and sleep, I'll also give you the XP you get from a champ once we wrap up here for you to divvy out to your Pokemon there. But that is where we will bring our 11th adventure to a close. You guys figured out the secrets of Celadon University, albeit in a different way. You really have no idea what happened.
Nope.
Other than you think you may have found the culprit. You really don't know. Who knows? But you guys kind of fall onto your beds as sleep quickly takes you, the tiredness from the day, as you guys drift off into sleepy wonderland. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, definitely let us know in the comments down below. And be sure to come back next Sunday at 2 p.m. EST for more Pokemon Dungeons & Dragons. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next one.